am here to help guide as many as I can through these huge shifts that are happening, and find myself getting channeled messages all the time. It seems to be an occurring theme with me throughout my life, but even more so now since I've really connected through the 20th and 21st of December. Yeah, I had a huge meditation there that just, I don't usually meditate, but it was an incredible experience. It just had this real powerful urge to just sit with some music in my ears, and the vibrations that were coming through me. Then this visual started happening, and I'm meaning really profound visuals of connecting to Uluru, connecting to the rest of the world, connecting to different beings, other humans and that, and really lifting the vibration of this planet. And since then, I have got, it feels like at the moment we're going through this huge preparation, shedding of everything that we've known. And then that preparation, it's not just an outer shedding, it's also an inner shedding. We're already being, really bombarded with getting ourselves in alignment, prepared for the 20th. And that was like a real, powerful moments where you just have to look at yourself, because it's right in front of you, something that's right in front of you that you never saw within yourself. And then you clear that, and then you're fine for a while, and then the next moment you're back into it again, and it was just kept on going like that. Well, now it feels more like just a preparation, like constant reminder of the fact that we're creating our own reality, and that we are protected, and that we will make it through all of this with shining colors, and completely shift from our reality from the inside out. So one of the big messages that I got, and I might just wait a little bit so that people can come online in that, but I'll just go on a little bit about myself, which is something that it's not easy for me, but I'm going to just do it. I'm an author-illustrator. I am a singer-songwriter. I've learned to create my reality. I've had incredible experiences throughout my whole life. I've met a Cherokee elder. She took me in. She's talked to me telepathically by holding my hand for over an hour. I've met with David Icke. I've been to Uluru. I connected with the mountain in 2011. I've had a lot of visitations from beings. I've had a lot of spiritual connections. I've had a lot of actually waking up and seeing these beings, giving me messages, 4 different races that came to me, telling me their scenario of the history of humanity. I've had messages showing me the premonition, things to do with our minds, so that we can clear and connect to our pineal gland, find balance again, so that we can gain potential of ourselves. You name it, I've had it. Whatever a big question I've put out to the universe, I seem to have been able to retrieve some sort of answer. I'm not saying I have all of the pieces. There are certainly a lot of other people out there that have pieces to all of this other information, but my journey and myself has been, guided by a lot of beings, a lot of different frequencies. I've been taken to potential new Earths where we could go. A lot of big stories. I've had a lot of precognitive dreams that have come true. I was single. I'm single now, but I was single for 9 years. And when I was single for 9 years, I'd meet people, and I would be told exactly what, how we would break up, or how it would work out, or how I could help that person, and dreams and stuff like that. So it was really powerful stuff that I've lived with all my life. Hi, Ginger. Thank you. She said, I love your honesty and straightforwardness. I'm only a reflection of yourself. So I just stand here as a reflection of everyone that comes here. There's nothing more than that. We are all extremely powerful. Humanity is extremely powerful, and we just haven't realized it yet. She said, the cosmos is responding to our inquiry, isn't it? I am seeing the same. Wow, yes, absolutely. So on the 20th and the 21st, when I had these incredible experiences of meditating, which I never meditate, and been shown all of this stuff that's happening on Earth, I've also seen, the crumbling of the old energies. People are going to have to make a choice. There's always a choice. You could either really become empowered with yourself and go towards balance within, look at yourself honestly, have that ability with that balance within, and we're talking logic and intuition and bringing that intuition back online to be able to start creating something brand new. And oh my God, we are going to create something absolutely fantastic. I can tell you absolutely now, because we've learnt the lessons, as humanity has learnt the lessons of what that intuition can do and what that logic can do. So bringing them together is just an absolutely amazing thing that can come out of this. Or you could decide to, follow that mainstream kind of a scenario, that left brain logical, and hang on to it, and the controlled system. You will end up, what I've seen through my dreams, going back to the start of evolution, kind of like there'll be a birth of a baby and there'll be a birth of the placenta. It goes back to the earth and it starts the evolutional cycle again. Always a choice that we make. Some people are not going to be ready. Some people are supposed to go that way. There's energies that we can work with. It's all part of the whole big picture. There's no wrong. There's no right. It's extremely important to just keep true to yourself. If the biggest thing that I can say is when your intuition clicks online, you're going towards your passion. You drive towards your happiness. Now, also, a really big thing that came up yesterday, and a realization, there are going to be people trying to deceive, even spiritual people that will try to deceive you. Now, this moment in time that we're going through is absolutely, I cannot stress this enough, absolutely nothing to do with leadership anymore, nothing to do with following somebody else anymore. This is nothing to do with that. This is to do with your inner guidance, finding your true, authentic self, finding the piece of the spark that's in you that drives you to bringing new energies onto Earth, imagining, creating all this new frequencies that are within you. You are the spark. You are the one that's going to bring the changes on this Earth. It has nothing to do with, I don't care who these people are, whether they're the top spiritual guru people, whether they're the leaders of this whole nation. Leadership is not, if they're telling you to do something, you've got to look inside. You've got to look inside you. If you feel that they are right, then absolutely you go for it. You do whatever you need to do. If you feel that they are wrong, listen to that gut instinct. It is important for you to take the reins. And the reason why everything is crumbling around us, the reason why the governments are starting to look like they're crumbling, and everything's crumbling. People that you probably looked up to are telling you weird, strange things now. The reason why that's happening is all valid to you taking the reins of yourself, so that you don't need to listen to anything else but your own inner guidance. This is the biggest message that I'm getting at the moment. I'm waking up through this. You guys are waking up through this. I'm starting to see the value already in my own reflection on my own life and where it's leading to. And I'm having an absolutely, a really good time, probably the best time I've ever had in my life, purely because I'm not taking part in the old energies anymore. I'm above it. I'm seeing above it, and I'm just enjoying myself. I'm doing what I love to do. I'm still in this kind of a woman cave at the moment, just figuring out what I actually want to do, where I actually want to go, and I've got certain things that I've lined up showing me reflections of what would make me happy. If for instance, you say to yourself, well, I don't know my next step, because, we're just bringing on our imagination for the very first time, really, really listening to that guidance. And I know some people out there have been listening to it for a while, but lots of people haven't. I'm talking about the majority here. When that imagination comes on, it's like, oh, wobble, wobble. I'm not used to using my imagination to perceive what my future is going to look like. I've been told it's a load of hogwash. But once we do bring that imagination online, we are, that's going to bring, I feel like there's something trying to come into at the moment, sorry. Okay, they're telling me talk about the cards. I've got a new deck of cards. They're saying sorry about the interruption. The excitement around this is so huge. Everybody is so huge with the excitement. So I have a beautiful being that comes through me now called Samantha. I'm working with her, and she guided me to bring up to buy these cards. And the cards, I'll just show you the packet. So the cards are Star Temple. And the reason why they're oracle cards is because they have different beings in them, and each being has a specific kind of energy. So there's all these energies that are around us that are wanting to support us at the moment. So I picked out 4 cards for the energy at the moment. I know that I was talking about imagination before, and it was actually important. When we bring our imagination back online. That's right. Because many people who are bringing their imagination back online aren't going to know what to do, the best guidance that you can give yourself, or help you can give yourself, is to say, okay, multiverse, universe, source energy, whatever, you know better than I do. So I'm just I can see what I kind of want, but I'm going to let you guys fill in the gaps. You guys fill in the gaps. You have to have that trust, that faith, to take a dive into your imagination and say, you know what, this is for my highest good, and I'm going to trust that wherever I'm taken. So you might be in a relationship that might really falter and break up, and you might feel, oh my God, or you might actually be directed to someone that really pushes a button in you and makes you stand up for yourself. These things are part of the shift. You can't just walk out and go, oh, I'm a new person because the divine universe told me. No, you have to actually do this inner work with the universe, go through it, and just trust. And you'll start seeing glimpses, that's a strange word. You'll start seeing glimpses of sparks in your reality that are lining you up with your true authentic self outside of yourself. So, for instance, I'm in a beautiful home now. I broke up a wee while ago, and now I'm stepping into my true authentic self, and I'm loving where I'm living, and I'm loving, the friends that I'm bringing in and the energies, and loving talking to you guys, having the confidence now to bring out my truth. Ginger says, hi, Jerry. I am seeing that we must transcend binary either or, thinking in terms of other understandings of reality. We must walk the middle path of true authenticity. Yes, there is an actual middle ground with this. It's a combination of our spiritual side, our connection to source, and that when that comes back on, we start taking the reins for ourselves, because we have a higher purpose connection rather than listening to so-called leaders. The leaders were there when we had our right brain locked down so that they could lead us, because we didn't have that connection to source energy or God within ourselves. And they are a reflection of a gap that was missing. But now that they will be falling, because we won't need them anymore. So I've got 4 cards. The first card that I picked out was goddess of balance, equality. So this is all about the balance that I'm talking about just now. So we're talking about the balance within our own minds of allowing logic and intuition to work together. So say, for instance, how this will work is I imagine something and I really love the feeling of it, and it comes from my heart, and it's just a beautiful thought. And then my logic will go, oh, I know how to do that. I've learnt, through repetition, through how to handle material objects, through how to guide through business, through all of that, how to bring that in online, and it's that working together. And then once you've achieved that goal, the imagination will click back in and go, oh, I know another thing that we can do. And imagine some beautiful scenario, tell logic. Now, the trick is, because logic will have a certain frequency that it feels would be created, and intuition has a certain frequency that it feels it would be created. So what we're talking about is like painting a painting. When you hold the brush, it might not come out exactly as your intuition or your imagination dictated, because we've got logic, we've got the brush, the grain of the paper, and all of the logical side of it come infusing in. So what happens then is what we're going to create is something different than slightly different to what our imagination is, but still on the same key, and slightly different to what our logic would probably foresee as well. But it's a union of these things coming together, and that's what's the exciting part. There's unknown parts in what we're going to create together from this. Okay, so we've also got the Huntress, and it says the quest. The Pleiades like my quest to be wild and free. So this is an energy of really taking hold of that intuition and using our logic to really fire it ahead and say, this is what I'm going to do. I am going to be a free sovereign being. I'm going to direct my reality to where I want to go. I trust myself. I trust that the universe is supporting me. It doesn't matter what anything else tells you outside of yourself, because you will be guided. You'll be guided. You'll be guided. My lights just turned very yellow for no reason whatsoever. Interesting. Okay then, let's change that to a bit of better settings. That's not so yellow. Interesting. So yeah, this card is to do with taking that intuition and really firing it and knowing where it's going to go and trusting that. And then we've got, so there's 4 cards that I did. This is the Inner Temple. Now I'll read it. Life lessons. I go with my shadow for deep spiritual growth. So this is what I was talking about right at the very beginning, that there might be things that happen when we decide we know exactly where we're going to go, and we're going to trust that universal support. We have a kind of a vision in our heads because it's coming from our hearts and our happiness and our excited passion of what we want to achieve now, because this is what the gift that we're coming in with. And then letting go, because the universe might have to shift some stuff within you that you've been holding on, that's taken you away from your authentic self. So you might have these reflections coming at you that's a bit negative and something that's a bit frightening, and it's your shadow self saying, hey, you've been hanging on to this too long, and it's taken you away from your authentic self, and so you've got to face this. So what you do is you face it and you see inside yourself, and you allow, and you be gentle to yourself, and you say, okay, I had those thoughts, or I have to stand up for myself, or something like that. There'll be, moments that are looking at the darker side of what you actually did in your reality. You might have to confess to yourself that you put your children through something or you put yourself through something that, and then you have to be kind to yourself, because the great thing to remember when we're going through our shadow self is when we're in oneness, if we see it from a oneness point of view, an observer point of view, We actually are seeing it as a point of view of just experience. There's no right, no wrong, no judgment, no nothing. Because that experience of being in that left logical brain and not having our right brain have a say at all and not be connected to source energy was an experience that oneness wanted to experience, right? So, and that separation of ourselves and the stories that come out of it, and what we might have put ourselves through, or even the loved ones through that we love through, it's all part of it. And I'm not saying that people that have done you wrong you should bring back into your life or anything like that. No, you need to follow your guidance. You need to follow your intuition of where you're going to go in a very authentic manner from your heart, and trust that. That doesn't mean this, you might bring them back in, you might not bring them back in. It's your decision. Sometimes people are of a lower vibration. They're not being honest with themselves, and when they're not being honest with themselves, they'll project that outside of themselves, and it gets a bit icky, so we don't really want to follow through with things like that anymore. So I also have, so Ginger said she just had the same convo with her best friend an hour ago. Isn't that so cool? So we have these coincidences that start showing up, and it's like the universe going bang, bang, bang. This is how it is. This is how it is. You guys, you are powerful. You are amazing. You've come here from, not just for missions, but to enjoy your life, to have an experience with Earth, on Earth, that she's going to support you. There's so much to be discovered here now that we're connecting back to our intuition again. So the last one I got is this card here. My dyslexia and different angles. Okay, so Maya, the winged messenger. Oh, I can actually read that. So it says, creation, spiritual direction inspires my creative flow. So once we get that right brain back online, this is a very powerful feeling that you start getting of inspiration to do something, and it can change every moment, and just allow it to happen, but also allow the logical side to have a say and bring things to fruition too, because otherwise if we're just in our right brain and it's very savant autistics are just mainly in their right brain and not bringing anything of value to the 3D kind of concept. And we're not just going into the 5D, we're actually expanding from the 3D to the 5D. So we've still got 3D, three-dimensional, we've still got our logical side of ourselves. We're just expanding. This is all about growth. This is all about unity of ourselves and bringing things together. So yeah, very exciting, and very excited to share this with you. Have I got any more messages that I want to bring up at this moment? I'm just going to flick through my phone, because sometimes I'm driving along and then I go, oh, it's such a cool message. And then I have to stop and write it down, or speak it into my phone. So yes, on the 9th of the 12th, 2020, I got a message. There is a definite split taking place where either your soul has chosen to evolve birth into a new creation, or emergence with logic and intuition, imagination, or you'll be like a placenta released to become part of Earth's journey and go back to the start of evolution, which I did talk about before. We have a unique vibrational voice to chant with. This is a really cool one, and I have brought it up in another video, but I'm going to bring it up again. I really love this. So there's all these really cool, awesome gifts that's going to come to us. And one of the ones that I was shown, there's actually quite a few that I was shown. When I was in the Potential Earth, one of them was the architects can put out their hand, and a white light will come from their hand, and with their imagination they can imagine that line of a wall, like a wall of a house with a window or doors or whatever. And then they eventually, when we really get the hang of this is quite a way in the future, but I've been shown these things, that these things are possible, and I like to put them out there so that people realize there's so much more potential with humanity. So that the line of energy will come out, and it's like a white line of like a white wall for a house with a window and everything, and then with the determination of our logical side, we can solidify it into a wall, and you can create houses. It's really cool. So you're creating houses with light. Very exciting stuff. But the one that I was actually going to talk about on my phone was to do with vibrations. So each of us has a voice, and our vibration of our voice is important as well. And slowly we will start bringing in beautiful souls that will come together, and they are our kind of our soul family, or a unity, a collaboration of energies that wanted to come together. And this isn't for everybody, but there are some people that are supposed to work in groups. And when they work in groups with their vibrational voice, they can chant, and it's kind of like these harmonics start developing within their chanting, and then the chanting will open portholes and gateways to different realities, and they might see this in their imagination at first, and then they might collaborate and go, oh, I saw that same thing as you did. And then from there, with this beautiful balance that we're bringing online in the end, they will actually be able to visit those places together, and they'll actually be able to take other people into those places as well by opening up these portholes with these souls. Yeah, it's very exciting. There's a lot to be discovered once we start bringing in this intuition, and we won't even need to worry about things like old patterns and old leaders and it won't be needed, because we'll lift ourselves out of that vibration easily. If you could teleport, then they can't exactly get you, can they? And I know that they've produced a lot of movies to say, oh, doom and gloom. If you've got these special powers, you'll be ostracized. You'll be, I don't know, experimented on or whatever, or you'll be. It's just them trying to deter you. It's got nothing to do with it. The only way that those sort of powers can come from within is if you are in line and in balance with yourself anyway. So they can't come. You have to be in line and in balance with yourself. They can't. You can't do anything that's powerful within you unless you've come from your heart and balance within yourself. That's one of the biggest keys. So you have to do the inner work to be able to gain that inner information. Anyway, I'm just going to have a quick squiz down my chat line. Ginger says, we are swimming in the same stream. I am feeling a huge shift in consciousness where many are connecting in the collective. Thank you for the video. It validates all that experience. You're very welcome, Ginger. So I'll leave it at that, and I will definitely have another chat to you guys. Sometimes I get a little carried away because I get passionate and excited. But yeah, I just saw the time, 7:55. Yeah. Too much fun. Sorry, guys. Okay, bye.